This full moon, the emphasis seems to be so much on the throat and the stomach, the lower belly. And that connection between the two, like we're going to be working, I feel very much with our appetites and our hunger, calling our appetite and our hunger home into a higher resonance, a higher vibrational truth. Because our appetites and our hunger can both be healthy and aligned to support us living our soul purpose, our true creative purpose. So, what are we hungry for? And what do we have an appetite for? They're two slightly different things there. And as well as that, there's it feels like there's a real emphasis on being supported to speak lovingly and kindly, but to speak our needs and with compassion and respect and honoring to the needs for the needs of others, but not to compromise our needs as we recognize them, and to create loving boundaries around those needs that don't take from another, but equally don't self-efface for the sake of others or another. And there'll be a call really to be quite gentle and compassionate with each other as we are in a kind of shared process of identifying, well, these are my physical needs, my animal needs, my urgent needs in the moment, and they must be met. And we'll be healing that old dynamic of if my needs are met, yours aren't, or if your needs are met, mine can't be. There's a little of that that's moving in the collective field, I think, is what I'm kind of seeing at the moment. And it's part of that old lack reality that's connected to duality, that's just not really vibrationally a truth for us as we're anchoring in those 5D new earth resonances. So the meditation we're about to go into now is to help us align and center and drop more deeply into our essence, our beingness, to contact. Because when we're in beingness, we are connected with our truth, which connects us with which aligns us with our true creative purpose, our soul purpose. And being in that place helps call home. At the moment, with this lunar gateway, our throat and our sacral centers, our appetites and our hungers. So the question before we dive in, that doesn't need an answer, but is calling to be asked, perhaps, is what have I got an appetite to create? Which is really asking, what am I here for? And do I have an appetite to create that? Am I allowing myself to have an appetite to create what I'm really here for? What's aligned with my true creative purpose? And what am I hungry for? What are the resources that I'm hungry for that are going to energize me to stay aligned with and to follow and to act in alignment with my true creative purpose? So we're looking at quite abstract aspects of hunger and appetite, but of course they relate to very literal, very figurative, not just figurative, but very literal aspects of hunger and appetite too. And again, we'll work with our throats and our sacral centers. So You're invited to sit now for this meditation, which will open out afterwards into other types of transmission. And to take these moments to settle down comfortably, allow ourselves 15 minutes that this might take. Wait for the body to settle into its position, allowing the eyes to gently and naturally close. And in the meditation, we'll be making intentions. So we don't try to do any of the things that are suggested. We make a silent intention and return our attention to notice after making that intention, like I drop my awareness to my heart now. Don't worry if we've done it or not, or if thoughts come. Simply return attention to notice the sensation, breath in the body, without naming the sensations that come. The sensation in the body as a whole, without trying to fix or change or make a story out of the sensations that come, just to notice all sensations or emotions or thoughts in the field as though they are vibrations, and we are just allowing them to be exactly as they are, as they want to show up right now. This gives everything permission to move here now. Okay. No intentions yet. Except the ones that live in the heart always and are known to the higher self. So I allow myself to rest in my sacral center now. So don't worry if you don't know where that is. And just open to allow anything which moves, any sensation, emotions or thoughts. I allow myself to rest in my sacral center now. Perhaps your attention is drawn elsewhere, and that's perfect. Go with your own experience in this. So one more time, I allow myself to rest in my sacral center now. Noticing the sensation of the breath, vibrations as they arise, allowing everything. So opening to notice where there might be tightness or constrictions or tension, and bringing our awareness to those places softly, as though we are embracing them, just surrounding them with a loving embrace of allowance. not needing them to be different, not needing those sensations to change for us. But just listening lovingly to whatever we feel, wherever we feel it. Really honoring ourselves for showing up in this moment and giving ourselves this time, this space, this now. I just invite you to say this statement if it feels right for you now. I allow myself to rest in the truth of who I am in this moment. You don't need to know what that is or get any information from this. Just return awareness to notice the sensation of breath in the body, that rhythm that's always there, always doing something. And then when you're ready, if it feels right, saying again, I allow myself to rest in the truth of who I am in this moment. In the moment. Yeah, and listening for those tight places, those tensions, surrounding them with love, letting them be as they are, opening to notice the vibrations in the field, the sensations, allowing thought and emotion to show up as vibration, not story. For these moments, giving everything permission to be exactly as it is, while we give it space to move and change shape and transform the way it wants to. So you may notice the vibrations moving up towards the throat, or perhaps you're feeling things in other parts of yourself at the moment. But just lightly notice where attention is drawn, where there's vibrations or where there's sensations. Not trying to change anything or fix it. Just going where with what's moving now. Last time. If it feels right, saying once more, I allow myself to rest in the truth of who I am in the moment. Now open to notice those parts that are relaxing, that feel more spacious. Perhaps constrictions are still there and tensions, but listen also for those parts that feel a bit expansive, perhaps a bit softer, maybe a dropping. Just open to notice if that's also there right now. Doesn't have to be. And again, bring attention to the sensation of breath in the body. A sensation in the body as a whole, and allow the vibratory action that's here, the sensations that might be here. So trusting the breath to carry in what's needed and to carry home what's not. Okay. All right. And the invitation now is to shift, allow attention to rise up, to notice sensations and vibrations in the throat area now. So the words would be, I allow myself to rest in my throat center now. And once again, welcome the sensations and vibrations. Don't try and understand them, make a story from them, just allow them. I allow myself to be, to rest in my throat center now. I'm just a loving observer to anything that moves for these moments. One more time, I allow myself to rest in my throat center now. And be with that breath sensation in the body. So we're knowing it's all taken care of. We're not running around trying to make stuff happen. Okay. And once again, opening to listen, not just for the tensions, but the parts that relax, that feel a little more spacious and a little more open. Just opening to that possibility that maybe that's happening in the system here too. So while we're here, opening to notice, where else do we feel vibratory activity, sensations, however soft and subtle? Not making anything of that, not giving it meaning necessarily, just listening to what's moving in us at this moment. Acknowledging that we are resting in the essence of beingness, opening to divine resonances present in this lunar gateway, in this here now moment, in us here, wherever here and now is for us. And as easily as breathing, transformation is happening gracefully, gently, and naturally, the way it wants to. See, our systems remember equilibrium, they know harmony, they want to relax back into a state which is very natural. We're really honoring ourselves by giving ourselves these moments just to breathe and be with, to be rebreathed, to be to be as we are. Okay, so with no further trying, we're just going to bring attention back to the heart and center with intention to open to notice sensations in the center of the chest. Maybe there's nothing to notice. That's something to notice. And relax into feeling that sensation of the body where it's resting on whatever's supporting us now. Before we open our eyes, having that sense of the room that we're in and the supportive characteristics of whatever space we're in, you know, whether that's as simple as there is a wall at my back or there is a ceiling over me or the light of the sun is reaching me, whatever it is, or I'm warm. Let the body notice those basic animal safeties, comforts, and protections for a moment. And then making that intention to take a sensory snapshot of how we feel inside right now, if you want. And to stay connected to that inner sense of how do I feel on the inside, but open the eyes a little and see if, while we open our eyes, we can keep that connection to how we feel on the inside. If we come out, just closing the eyes again and reconnecting. How do I feel within right now in my body? This is my home. I am here. Reminding ourselves that we're safe in this moment. Okay, and then opening the eyes a little more and just in our own time coming back to our day and seeing if we can drop more easily as we go throughout the day. Drop back into that noticing, how do I feel on the inside? It's just a subtle shift. And that can be, how do I feel in the center of my chest? Simple as that. So that we're kind of inviting part of us to shift direction from the attention that's always being pulled outwards and turn inwards. Not to do anything or achieve anything, just to be there and touch base. Okay, lovely, thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful to be with you in this. Okay. So we're moving on to the second part of this full moon transmission. It feels like there is energy moving. So you can either hit the pause, stay with where you're at and come back to this later, or stay in the energies and be with what's coming through. This is a energy transmission. We'll just see where it goes. So before receiving anything, the invitation is to set an intention. I receive only that which is in absolute integrity of unconditional love, which is safe and appropriate for me at this time, and which is aligned, in alignment. I receive that which supports the sacred intentions in my connected heart, those known to my higher self. Okay. So again, keep attention on the sensation of breath in the body, sensation in the body as a whole. I would suggest making the intention to stay in the center, the still point. There we go. Just open. I can feel the field opening now. There we go. Right, it's moving. All right, so what I'm getting is the invitation to move physically. It feels like this is the integration part of the meditation. So when I do this, I let go of the need to move. I listen to how my body feels, and I just ask, oh, where would it feel good to stretch, to move gently from side to side, like with my hips. Do my hips want to move from side to side? What about my shoulders? What about my neck and head? What about my rib cage and my torso? And I'll stay with the breath and let the body move in interesting and unexpected ways. It can be very subtle. But when we drop into energy work, the body knows how to integrate what we open to. So I love just listening to its wisdom and freeing it from direction by the mind. It can be very soft, or it can be a very strong movement. There's a real beauty in these moments. It's like we've opened to new flows, new resonances. They're going to affect our system energy and physicality, ever moving more and more closely. There's something so beautiful about letting the body show us where all these energies go, how they fit, and where they flow. So just a few moments like this, I feel. But it is our sacred time. Our bodies are going to move in a way that no one else's does. No one can tell us what we should do right now. This is the wisdom within, in motion. All right, and you're invited to give permission for the expansion and the expansive energies that are moving now. So this is more of an energy transmission that's coming through at the moment. So the way I work with this is I breathe in deeply, I hold my breath a little bit and stretch. So let that move, but you do what feels right for you. Stay safe, be gentle. So what I'm really being shown is this kind of the fresh waters in the chalice. With this connection between the heart, the throat, and the sacral, where the chalice energies and waters are. I'm being shown that figure of 8. And the connection to infinite resource. This is what's being transmitted in the moment. It's an internal connection. It's in us. It's like turning on a tap, opening that faucet for a natural flow. It's like with all we were talking about at the beginning, part of us has said, yes, I give myself permission to allow hunger to be aligned, to make me hungry for the fuels that are going to energize me carrying out my true creative purpose. To be hungry to get up and do what I'm for. To have an appetite to do what I'm for. And to be fueled. I give myself permission to be fueled in that. And I'm just being shown this beautiful rush of clear white waters. There's white light and water, and it's a huge flow, a huge figure of 8, sustainable, infinite flow that seems to want to open in our divine blueprints at the moment. And this is what's here now. So just because this is what I'm seeing doesn't mean this is what you should be experiencing. So stay with what's true for you now. Getting that fiery quality of joy. It's so integral to this activation that's coming with the full moon at the moment. See, there's joy as a resonance, warm, a heat that's warm like the sun, infusing everything. And there's joy that's directional, that drives us into action. We can only do that if we're fueled, if we're resourced and energized. So it's like, what's the fuel that feeds joy, that nourishes that in us? See, our joy is always a compass for following our purpose, our soul purpose, our true creative purpose. When we feel joy, it's like, oh yeah, I can trust that. That's my compass for this is what I should be doing. This is what's for me. So we've done a lot of aligning collectively with our joy and allowing our joy and opening to joy. Now we're fueling our joy. This seems to be what's supported right now. Lots of old scripts about it's wrong to fuel this, or joy is wrong, or I mustn't nourish this, I must suppress it. All lots of reasons why we might have had those old scripts. I'm not picking those apart right now because we're aligning with the new energies here. That's what this is, an invitation. So just while these words are here, staying with the sensations in the body, the vibrations in the field, opening to notice where things are moving. There's not worrying if there's nothing to notice. That's never wrong. But the words, I give permission for joy, are really loud. So you're invited to say those internally. I give permission for joy. All right, and I can feel the fiery expansion in the field, the collective field at this time. So there is a huge expansion in the energies present now. And that's what we're being supported in. You're going to have an expansion, it gets fueled, gets resourced and energized, but it can also be quite overwhelming. So to stay with expansive energies, I always like to stay in my center and my still point, be with that rhythm and that breath, because that's so anchoring. It's so steadying. And let the expansion take care of itself, and just give that intention to I let go of all my resistance to expansion. And the expansion can be soft. It doesn't have to overwhelm us. So I allow expansion. I let go of my resistance to expansion. Those are the intentions we can make now in this transmission. That will carry on out into life. So you can make a further intention. I let go of my resistance to expansion in life. So what we're doing energetically is going to reach out into our experience. I let go of my resistance to expansion in life. One more time. I let go of my resistances to expansion in life. So I can feel that in me. Really honoring those parts of us that are afraid of expansion, really loving them, allowing them to be embraced, but not letting them stand in the way. We're going beyond them. Understand when we expand, we do so within safe boundaries. We never expand over or onto someone else's domain. There is infinite space for everyone to expand. There's space for us to do this safely, boundaried, protected. We're relaxing into ourselves to inhabit more of that space and that spaciousness that's who we are. It's ours. So as we let ourselves steady in that expansion, the invitation is to open into the resonance of peace, the peacefulness, beyond all activity in our fields, minds, hearts or bodies, now. Okay, thank you so much for being with that transmission. So letting yourself come down now and again touch down in the physical sensations of where we're sat, the room we're in, and what surrounds us, letting ourselves become aware again of our environment. Allowing ourselves a pause in these moments for integration. Now I feel that, and it's so beautiful to give permission for the pause between one thing and the next. That's where so much of the magic happens. So that was part 2 of this full moon transmission. Let's see what's now. Feels like there's a message. Feels like there's a message to come through now, and this will be the last part of this gateway transmission, I think. Okay. All right, so again, it's a transmission. So I would always make the intention to receive what's for you, let go of what's not. Drop into somatic awareness by bringing the attention into the heart, sensation of breath in the body. Sensation in the body as a whole. We are dragon. And so are you. Within each of you, this archetype survives, reawakening through the dimensions of you, of to be rebirthed at every level of your beingness. So they're showing me a dragon's egg here as well as the dragon. You are always becoming new. Everything in you also is. When we speak, it is to remind you of who you are, close to the heart of Gaia, close to the heart of earthly creating, the primal energies in motion, bringing new creations into form. For as we are rebirthing in you, and you are rebirthing the dragons, you also are. Up on the surface, your worlds are changing. Yes, you are allowing the details of your existence to also renew. For all really is one. For we are the powerful driving forces that move in you. So a moment just to be with whatever that has caused to move in your field. Allow the movements to be there. Again, emotions, thoughts, meeting them simply as vibrations. Dragon energy tends to move quite powerful things quite fast. So just recognize that this might be what's going on at the moment. Might not, of course, but we make that space for a few moments. And when something's very forceful moves, there can be fear as well. So acknowledging that. And still seeing if we can allow, that's it, ourselves to relax into whatever's here now. Okay, beautiful. Beloveds, thank you. You have done so very well. To be here now. You are no longer preparing yourselves to live in the new world. You are the new world creating itself. And you are working more tangibly with the physical requirements that are also that support you, that how do we say, that enable you to carry out the actions that so many of you are in such deep trust within yourselves about. I am here for this. I am going to do this. I am not wanting to do this, but I'll do it anyway. I am going to do that. I am not there for that. It is that I am not there for that which we wish to speak to you of today. With all that is moving in this particular lunar gateway, there is a challenge. It's like risk, but they don't want to use the word risk. It's like possibility of being called out of your center to be with the needs of others over and above your own. And we are just here to mention that in that harmonious alignment, when you are dropped into the center of yourselves, you drop into a place where staying aligned, meeting your needs, is also aligned with others meeting theirs. It is not about not doing for others. It is very specifically about not coming out of your center, not compromising your boundaries, and still allowing your needs to be met and trusting that the needs of others are going to be met if you stay aligned, boundaried, and centered. This breaks down an old, a vitally old, anciently, what's the word they're trying to bring to it? Like a vital, ancient, a vitalistic principle of survival that has been there since ancient times. Okay, got there. Where you have lived and survived in duality for so long. Under conditions whereby, if your needs were met, someone else's would not be. We spoke of this at the beginning. This reality is itself dissolving, deconstructing itself around you, and your job, your part in the dissolution of this reality is to honor and align yourselves within the new one. You do this by caretaking the health of the cells you are within the body of the whole. Stay within your boundaries and assert those boundaries with love. For when you assert them with fear, you are still supporting that belief that if you stay in your center, someone else will go without or will come and try and pull you out of yours. And it's an attachment, strings of attachment that in the collective are under great pressure to let go, to relinquish the investment in that old way of having your needs met. Those subtleties of honoring your physical needs. Now, at so many other levels, you have already done this work together, collectively, as a tribe of consciousness. But here you are in the physical realm, allowing consciousness to also be physical and physicality to abide by the universal principles that apply to consciousness. You are ending that sense of separation between the energetic and the physical, between what you can see and what perhaps you can't. What's inside, what's outside. These inside and outsides might be distinct, but they're no longer separate from each other. They breathe together. They are as one, ever increasingly so. And so the principles, or there is infinite abundance within, are finding their way into the external, manifest world. There is an abundance of space. You have space to expand. There is an abundance of time. There is enough time for you. There is an abundance of resource. Your needs in this moment can be met while you remain aligned without compromising the needs of another. There are complicated beliefs, webs and webs and webs of beliefs in the collective consciousness to be untangled around this at this time. And wherever you look to the past experience, you will get tangled up in these webs of beliefs, because that will teach you. That there isn't enough of everything to go around for everybody. Well, that was a co-created reality, yes? But here you are in a new reality. Unable to see all the rules, perhaps, unable to see what's yet to be revealed. And yet, one of those rules emerging now is enoughness. In physicality, enough space, enough time, enough resources. There is enough for you to be fueled, to carry out what you are here to do without compromising the vital needs of another or the vital needs of yourself. There are many challenges this lunar cycle connected to these themes as they are on the move. We are simply here to support you aligning with the harmonious potential, the new reality as it is emerging within each of you, so that as you face what needs to leave within your fields, you do so resourced, protected, loved, and supported. Please call on us for more of this support. We are here. We are here. We are the Sirius Pleiadian Alliance, overseeing this transitional, these lunar transitions at this time. But your guides are working with you to call on those of unconditionally loving integrity to support you this lunar gate, this lunar cycle, with owning, honoring, and aligning within your truth, your loving boundaries, so you can meet and nourish the physical needs to energize you to act on your dreams. I really feel that loving support there. When they're saying act on your dreams, they're just like, go on. Really feeling that being cheered on sense coming through there. It's so beautiful. Yeah, and there's just a sense of applause and just the way we do when you've got a race on and people line the sides and cheer on the races, except they don't want us to feel like we're in a race. I think that's the whole point as well from the message. It's like you are not racing each other, and you're not racing time, you're not racing space, you're not racing to get the resources, and letting go of the part of us that always feels like it's been in a race. We so supported each other to race, to get there faster, to do bigger, to do better, to do faster, to get there before somebody else. And I think there's a lot to deconstruct around that. So they're saying rather than be with the deconstruction, be with that place of peace within that knows I am enough, I have done enough, and I have enough. Wow. Wow, right. So that's an hour, and I think perhaps that's all. But let me just feel into if there's anything else. Feel that there's just something else here now to close with. Okay, yeah, it's. I'm feeling a heart transmission. So the invitation would be to drop attention into the heart, be with the breath, and receive from within ourselves, through our higher selves, what the infinity of unconditional love is for us now. To acknowledge that we don't need to know what that is. To rest in that, breathe with that, and to go about our days now with knowing that there's something, just something is coming in through that heart gateway, in through the breath, breathing its way into our fields. And it's what we need coming from within us. It's what's for us now. So you're invited to walk away with that breath, that breath from within, and the gifts that are coming in at this time. I hope may you be supported. May this be a beautiful, expansive, heart opening and joyful lunar cycle. I'll be checking in for the half moon and again for the new moon. Rearrange that. And and of course offering one-to-one sessions for anyone who wants to dive more deeply into this way of working. All right, guys, have a beautiful time. Over and out.